about stuff. Playing stuff. Reading stuff. Watching stuff. Talking about stuff. The Beardyheads.
Hi, I'm Jake.
And I'm Steven.
And I'm Dave.
Welcome to episode 9 of the Beardyheads Gamecast.
Yes.
The 9th episode.
I'm back.
And Steven is back from his proctology exam.
Yeah. My butthole's all clean.
I was going to say, did the cleaning go well?
It was okay. I mean, you know, a lot of hand-holding.
Did he check that cyst you were telling me about?
No.
Oh. Well,
No, he just fucked me in the butt. But
well, you know, I'm glad you're open about that.
But yeah, it's.
I mean, you get what you pay for.
Well,
What did you do? Pay him like $20?
I don't know. What did I pay him with? I don't remember.
How did I pay? Does my insurance cover this?
Does my insurance cover getting fucked in the butt?
So yeah. Well, that's a conversation we had.
Yeah, that happened.
I'm super hungover today.
Why is that?
I drank 5 beers yesterday.
Oh, that's how you get hangovers.
Well, it's not normally how I get hangovers. Normally I drink 5 beers and I just sort of
Pee a lot.
sit there with a shotgun in my mouth and
Jesus Christ.
contemplate the end.
Yeah,
But-
here we go. Yeah, he's talking about suicide again.
We go from butt sex to suicide. There's a shift in topics.
Well, you gotta have, a range of topics in a podcast like this.
This is true.
I feel like if we just talked about video games, it might get boring for everybody.
So instead, we'll talk about killing ourselves and things in our butts.
I mean, I could stop talking about it and just do it if that's what you want me to do.
No.
Oh,
Don't do it.
Yeah, that would
Choose
be a
life,
bummer.
Jake. Choose life.
No, but yeah, I had like 5 beers. Apparently, I broke a toilet.
Yep.
I'm still not sure how that happened.
Show me the picture. It looked like you just hit it with a hammer.
I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
Jake, being around you, I'm not surprised you broke a toilet. I've seen you break things, and you accidentally break things. You just like, what is that? A bull in a china shop is the expression. You're just
A
like
little
that.
bit.
You get in my car. You've been in town a week. You broke my stereo, and you broke the little visor thing. Both I don't care about, because I thought it was hilarious. But I'm just like, you're not even trying to break things.
You're just accident prone
Things
sometimes.
just break around me. Like I have, and that's the thing is, I was like, they were like, "Oh, you broke a toilet." And I was like, "All right, well, I haven't broken one of those yet."
Well,
But,
whenever you have a kid, make sure you're sitting down when you hold the kid.
Yeah.
But to make Jake not feel so bad, I too have broken a toilet while drunk before.
Oh, yeah?
In my defense, though, it was the toilet seat where Jake somehow broke the tank.
No.
I don't even know how
How
this
did you
happened.
break a tank? Did you just you went in there to throw up violently and you just headbutted the tank, or?
I really don't know. I have no memory of this.
This is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, I have no memory. Basically, I apparently went over. We had a couple of beers at a brewery out here in Dallas called Peticolas. And
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Peticolas, if you want to sponsor. I broke a toilet because of you.
Thanks a lot.
And then we went over to my buddy, one of his friends was homebrewing, and I know a little bit about homebrewing, and I was like, well, let's go over there, and we can help him clean up and stuff, because it's 90% homebrewing. And he already had the boil going, so I mucked out his mash tun and stuff. And I had a couple of beers off of his freezer, off of his drafts. And that's about the last thing I remember is sitting around and eating pretzels with.
I will tell you this, though. I love cleaning out a mash tun. It smells so good.
Those are words y'all are saying.
Mash tun is we'd have to go into
Yeah, there's a lot.
what makes beer.
I just drink beer. I'll just take your word for it that y'all make it.
Well, just remember, if I ever brew beer, I'm having you smell the fermenter after I empty it out. And
You don't pee in it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It's just, it's a smell you won't forget.
It's pretty heavenly. It's a wonderful smell because it's all the starches are being converted into sugars.
Cool.
Anyways, Dave, what are you playing, man?
I picked up that new, or it's not new, it's 2 years old, Super Smash Bros. I picked it up for 3DS.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot more characters. I didn't. It's been a while since I played Smash Brothers. I don't think I've played since the first one, but until I started playing this, I didn't realize how aptly that game is named, because I am just sitting there smashing buttons. I have no.
Yeah, I don't know how to play fighting games, and I just imagine me playing it might be similar to you, just button mashing.
I mean,
the whole
you just
time.
like you have 2 buttons to attack, and you're just like, oh, let me hit this and hit that button, and you just pick your character. They do different stuff.
Nice.
And they have different kind of usually really it's just like different speed or strength. Like of course Donkey Kong's really strong and
Of course.
Sonic's really fast, but
You can cheat if you're Pikachu.
can you?
You can cheat?
That's what every time I've seen anybody do it, they spam some move Pikachu uses, and
Well, Pikachu's
you
like,
can't get up. By the time your animation of getting back up is up, you've already zapped you in the balls again or whatever. Unless you're Princess
Pikachu
Peach,
is-
he zapped you in your girl balls. But
Pikachu's so fast.
Well, for a minute, I was like, so Princess Peach has some counter to this, but no, it was just
she has girl balls.
she doesn't have balls.
Wait a minute. I remember the Wii U when they came out. They had like a butt ton of DLC, like character DLC.
I haven't looked at the DLC. There's actually because I haven't put it on my on the Wi-Fi yet. I've just been playing offline, and
Well, you'll get your ass handed to you when you do
I'm
that.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's kind of like strange to me, there's not really like a single player mode. There kind of
Oh.
is, but it's really weird. But it's a fun game. I suggest picking
Yeah.
up. It's a good time waster.
Everybody talks about it, and I've always been curious to get into it. It's
You know-
just the problem with Nintendo games is it's a $40 gamble every time because
Yeah,
their games are
that's
so
true.
expensive.
Like even if you got that used, I saw it used and it was like $35.
Yeah,
So new versus used was still only $5 difference.
you can get it. You can get lucky every now and then. Get it at a pawn shop.
Yeah, I was thinking like part of me wants to go and invest in it since I got the Wii U. I was thinking of getting it for Wii U too later.
Mm-hmm. You can't they communicate?
They can communicate. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what it's all about. I did notice that they can communicate.
That's
the
awesome.
Wii U and the DS, or the two?
Well, the Wii U and the DS, but also the 2 games.
Oh, okay.
Like you can have, I think, on the TV. How many people is it? 4 to 5 play total,
4.
and
4
some of
players
those
per
could be on the
match.
3DS, I
I
believe.
was gonna say, like, so it's basically the same game.
Yeah, these are pretty much these games were released at the same time, and as far as I know, they're pretty much exactly the same. Just
Yeah, I was kind of curious because I was like, oh, I know there's a 3DS game version, and there's also, I was pretty sure there was a Wii U version, but
They
I'm not a big
released them,
Smash Brother guy, so.
well,
They either released at the same time or like weeks apart or something. But
I know they were really close. If
Yeah.
they weren't at the same time. But I know that I want to get the Wii U version because then I think that would just be a good game for us to sit on the couch
Yeah.
and play because it's so
be fun.
chaotic and fun. And it's just
Watch
like,
us be terrible at it.
Yeah, you just screw around and hit buttons and combine that with drinking.
That's a game that surprisingly became kind of an esport.
Kind of.
Yeah.
You could see people playing it, and you're just like, people are serious.
I mean, you get
Nintendo, and despite the best efforts of Nintendo, it did become an esport because
Well,
Nintendo
yeah.
was like, well,
You just
this
can't make
isn't-
any money off of it unless you are
Yeah.
Nintendo.
This isn't what we wanted this game to be. We won't sanction the tournaments.
I do like that it's that cross-platform. That's something that Nintendo should have jumped on sooner. Which, rumor has it that's what the NX is going to be about, is the cross-platform.
Is it? I hadn't heard that rumor.
Yeah, like supposedly the controller is kind of a handheld device that you can take with you.
That's kind of cool.
Unlike the
Oh,
Wii
yeah.
U, which is technically a handheld device, but it's not the most portable compared to like a 3DS.
God, no, that
Yeah.
thing is so huge. Like,
But-
even for my hands.
It'd be great if they just made a console and it's like, oh, all those 3DSs that y'all bought, like record-setting amounts? Yeah, those are all controllers for this. And then they just dropped the mic and walked out of the Nintendo Direct.
It
that's
would be kind of
pre-recorded.
cool if like it just came with a 3DS as a controller.
3DS is the best handheld, like, ever.
I agree.
It
I mean,
is.
I think that's what Nintendo is probably if
They go away, that should
they
be.
go away.
They should never stop making
I
those.
think they're just gonna always make handhelds. I think
Oh.
they dominate the handheld market. The Vita, whatever.
I love my Vita, but it's dead. It's pretty much dead at this
There
point.
just never was all that much support for it.
Well, that and they didn't drop the price in time.
That too.
Well, it's an expensive unit, isn't it?
It was when it first was announced. It was $250, and the 3DS when it first came out was a $250. But like a year later, right when the Vita was announced at $250, Nintendo dropped the price a lot, and all those people that paid $250 for it, they got like a shitload of free games as an apology. And then the Vita, within the last year and a half, dropped it to $200, which is the price of a 3DS now, and they're like, shit.
New 3DS is a thing now, isn't it?
That's what I have. Yeah,
It's got the 2 dual stick. Part of it, I think, Nintendo also, since it goes after a lot of their games are for a younger audience, even though they're still fun when you're old. I don't know why people look down on it for it, But younger people seem to be more, or younger kids seem more into portable gaming than.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You put them in the back seat with the 3DS. I mean, all my kids have. Everybody in my house has a 3DS, and even the kid that's not old enough to hold one. I mean, we've got an extra one for him, and yeah. I mean,
when you're of age,
put them in the back seat and just say, "Shut up and play your DS."
But anyways,
boom, done.
Anyways, that's all I got to say on that. What have you been playing, Jake?
I've been playing. This is a game that I actually play a lot of, but I figured I would talk about it. It's called Death Skid Marks.
Nice.
Death Skid Marks is a spy hunter kind of game.
You know, real quick, I wish Maria had been here so we could do that thing we did last week.
Oh,
Hey, Maria,
what is this?
What is this game?
I think now that's going to be a segment. So when we go to breaks, like we will play a Maria. What is this game?
You should ask her the next break. What is Death Skid Marks or whatever?
Okay. I'll ask her today, and we'll record us talking about it.
Fair enough.
What is Death Skid Marks? And we'll maybe we can get that in on a break somewhere.
And when we come out of the break, one of us has to say, "Wow, that was a great song."
Yeah. Oh man, last week's song. I found this. Oh, anyways.
Just go listen to last week's episode.
Just go listen to the last week's episode, which should be coming out today, actually.
While we're recording.
Yeah, Death Skid Marks. It's kind of like Spy Hunter. If Spy Hunter was about going to a rock concert, and it's sort of like a little bit of an RPG kind of thing. You have stats. You have different people that you can sit in your car, and they do different things depending on their abilities. You can arm them with different weapons. You can upgrade your car, and the whole time you're like being attacked by other cars. You're all trying to get to this rock concert, apparently. And I can't even remember.
It's gore.
It depends. It depends on what difficulty you have it set at. Depends on the concert you're going to. But you can get like a Hummer. You can get all this other stuff. You can ram cars off the road. You fight characters from children's TV shows. So you fight like the Teletubbies.
That's amazing.
You fight the Westmoron Baptist Church. Who else is in there? There's like rednecks. There's Nazis. I mean, pretty much anybody you'd want to kill.
Damn.
And you upgrade your car, and like every once in a while, you come across a thing that's like, make a wish. And it will just it'll turn you into a giant robot dinosaur, was one thing that happened to me while I was playing that game. Anyways, this game is fantastic, and you should play it. Because, honestly...
I kind of want to now.
I honestly think, dude.
I also want to play Brutal Legend for some reason all of a sudden.
It's it reminds me a lot of the feel of Brutal Legend.
That was a fun game.
That was a surprising game. I wasn't expecting that to be as fun as it was.
It was misunderstood, though.
Yeah, I think it was the marketing.
Yeah.
Everybody sort of got pissed at the marketing that it was, this is another Double Fine platformer. And it turned out it was like an RTS.
Yeah.
It was like a weird RTS
it was like
hybrid.
a combination.
It was like how many genres in one game, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
even Tim Schafer was like, well, they told us not to stress the RTS parts, so that we can kind of so we can make our numbers more or less, but that was I still haven't played Brutal Legend. I think I played the demo and I really liked it.
I played the demo and I liked it, yeah.
I played the whole game. It was fun. But yeah, Death Skid Marks, that sounds...
The name alone is worth...
Yeah.
Oh, man, you gotta... Dude, this game's hilarious. So you can basically also get... you get these things called jobs, and each job gives you a bonus for killing people in a certain way.
So this is Jobs' GTA mentality.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and then you upgrade your car with the money you earn from the jobs. So, you might get
a rock concert.
More money. Yeah, because you got to buy tickets. If you get to the end and you don't have tickets, then you lose the game. So you have to buy tickets. Some of the jobs might be like dismember, or what was my favorite is always just any death gives you 4 points or gives you 4 monies.
Yeah.
So I just like a lot of times they'll just be pedestrians on the road.
You just kill all of them.
So you just boom, bumping off pedestrians. It's pretty great. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't require a lot of brain power to play. So
I'm guessing this is a PC game?
Yeah, it's a PC game.
Is it on Steam?
Yeah, it should be on Steam. I think that's where I've got it from, is Steam. And it's probably like $10. maybe $8.
Sounds
I'm
like a
not
good
sure.
thing to pick up maybe like on a rainy day where you don't have much else to do.
Put it on your wish list. When it gets Steam saled, it will totally be worth whatever price
is the
they're
full
Steam
price?
sailing it at. I'm not sure. I want to say it's like probably $8. Because I mean, it's not
Still
like
not a bad price.
it's a cool little indie game, you know. I've had a lot of fun with it. When I was living in New Mexico, I basically anytime I would take a phone call from somebody, I would play that game.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's $10.
Yeah, $10. I think I picked it up for like $1.50.
Studio Whiskey Tango is their studio.
Yeah.
Shout out if y'all don't want to sponsor.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor the Drunk Asshole Toilet Breaker podcast.
Yeah.
Are we rebranding right now?
I don't know.
Well, I messed up a thumbnail the other day and made it Beardyheads, and I was like, we're going to rename everything.
Now we're rebranding everything.
We're the Beardyheads now.
Steve, what about you, man? I'm interested to hear what you've been playing because I already know what it is.
I went indie. I played. I'm playing Hitman.
You went hardcore indie, I see.
Hardcore indie.
Man.
Yeah. I think on a previous podcast, I kind of badmouthed the decision to do episodic. I have to go back and listen, but I was not a fan of episodic at all.
Yeah.
And now, 8 hours into the first episode, I am full on into this episodic format. It is amazing.
Really? So you've
I was wrong
drank
about
the Kool-Aid.
I was wrong about Hitman being episodic because I wanted a full game with a story and all that. And yeah, there's a story there, but it's at the end of the mission. You have a cutscene. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And it actually is a good cutscene. It ends it kind of not really on a cliffhanger, but you're like, who's this dude? But this game it blends Absolution, which a lot of hardcore Hitman fans weren't a fan of because it was pretty linear.
Yeah, it was. I played Absolution. Yeah. It was linear, but I still enjoyed it.
It was a great game. It was a great Hitman.
I had fun with it.
I mean, it was still better than Contracts, which is arguably not the best.
Nope.
What?
Contracts? No, I wasn't a fan of Contracts. Blood Money was my favorite.
Blood Money was good. Contracts nobody really liked, and it's okay.
I only clearly remember Absolution and Hitman 2.
Hitman 2 was fantastic game.
That was a fun game.
Still to this day.
I still love the. Oh, I messed up, but I can still win the mission just by pulling out them hardballers.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking double ballers.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
silver ballers. That's what they are.
Yeah. And you can plan out your mission in this one. You can select what you're going to take. And so whatever you're going to pocket, whatever you can conceal, whatever you can have somebody smuggle in beforehand and at a specific location. You can have a sniper rifle at this one woodshed, and there just so happens to be something you can climb by the woodshed where you can snipe them. Only if you went and got this thing to make them all go outside at the same time. There's a lot to do in this game.
How many episodes are there supposed to be?
As far as I know, like 4 or 5. I know there's going to be 4 or 5 maps.
Okay.
But
and they're talking about. I think it was like they were going to release one every month, wasn't it?
Next month there'll be something.
I mean, I could see this going on, and then just going like, well, those 4 or 5 maps, like we're getting so much money off of them, we're just going to release like 8 bonus maps.
Yeah, I hope, because this one map, it's a house and the grounds around it, and it is so massive. Like I've spent 8 hours playing Hitman on my Steam library. It says 8 hours played on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's still rooms I haven't explored. There's still methods of assassinations I haven't done, and it's amazing. But the biggest thing about it is, it's got the parts of Absolution I liked, which was the instinct, which if you're a purist, you don't want to use, but you can turn it off. It's all optional.
What was the instinct?
It's where you can. It's like Assassin's Creed. You can see through walls and like, there's my target. He's red, but you can turn that off. And it blends like the old Hitman, where it's just a giant map. And this is bigger than the biggest maps in Hitman. Like, I remember in Hitman 2, which one was the one where you got to snipe the guy in the window? The general. But you got to wait
I think that was actually Hitman. It might have been Hitman 2.
It was Hitman 2.
Probably.
It was the second
mission. So. It was. Yeah, you're right. And you have to like go and get the fucking rifle.
Well, there's other ways you can snipe him, or you can
Venturez.
You can go in the sewers and put a bomb under his car. I mean, there's many ways like a Hitman game. But
that wasn't 2, I don't think.
That was 2.
Remember.
It was
2.
It was a huge map. I remember it because it was a big map. It's all outside.
Huge map.
This is way bigger than that.
You had several options.
I think didn't they do a Hitman where basically they remade some of the older missions?
Contracts had remakes of Codename 47.
That might
the
have
first
been
game.
the one where I played that mission.
Nobody really played Codename 47. The controls are just awful.
Yeah.
And but it's still a good game.
I played Codename 47.
Yeah.
I've played
when it was released, when it was new.
The controls are kind of but it's not a bad game. But yeah, the new Hitman, totally get it. If you're a Hitman fan, I would highly recommend this game because it's so good. So good.
I might pick it up now.
Yeah, I think you've kind of already sold me just from commentating videos with you and.
There's some more coming out too because there's so much shit in that game, challenges and contracts and just. I have a rubber duck. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm gonna kill somebody with it.
Kill somebody with a rubber duck.
I got a contract where there's like this rubber duck and it's like a little white rubber duck and I'm sure it has some sort of significance, but. I'm going to find out how to kill somebody.
Fuck if I know what to do with it.
Fuck if I know what to do with it, but it's like kill him with a rubber duck. This particular guy dressed as this particular outfit.
I can see it now. You walk up to him and you just shove the duck right down his throat. And
that's the only way I can think of it. It's like, oh, you could choke somebody to death with a rubber duck.
You squeeze it and it shoots out a knife.
And I like the way they handle. I like the way they handle poison in this game because I remember in previous Hitman games, it's like, you poisoned them, they die. That's it.
They die instantly.
In this one, I had cyanide, and it just fucking. Kills them right then, and then the other one is rat poison, where it just makes them sick, and they go in the bathroom. You just follow them in the bathroom and drown them in the toilet.
Hey, you do.
That's how you get them by themselves. Yeah, and another time I was like, oh, I've already got the challenge for drowning him. I gotta use the garrote wire, the piano wire. So I let him throw up in the toilet, and he stood up. He's like, oh man, I don't know what happened. I'm like, oh yeah, and then just choke him to death with the little wire, and then just drag him in the closet.
I just see a person like patting him on the back. That's okay, buddy. That's okay, and just.
The last thing you do on this earth is you throw up after drinking something, and you stand up, and then some guy just strangles you to death.
Just strangles you to death with a wire.
I'll wait till you get done. Continue throwing up. It'll be fine.
Or he just puts his foot on your head and you drown in your own vomit.
Oh, it's funny when you drown him and you can move the camera around, and because I move the camera around, I'm looking at the door behind me in case somebody walks in, and I switched the camera back around, and I got done drowning him. There's just a bunch of floaties in the toilet. I mean, they're very detailed. There's shit in the toilet. It's either his vomit or somebody didn't flush. I mean, it's a nice house, but
it's a nice place.
It's a nice house.
Sometimes rich people don't flush too.
I mean, it is a guest bathroom. I mean, my guest bathroom, beware.
Nobody knows what happened in there.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing, and I'm gonna keep playing. I cannot wait for next month.
It's gonna be your XCOM.
I'm fucking obsessed with it. And like yesterday, I was just like, I can do more. I know I can.
I don't know what, but
there's something in here I haven't done yet.
There's something I haven't found or explored, and they have a list. You can just check it off on the shit you can do.
Nice.
Amazing.
Speaking of XCOM, XCOM update. I've been doing a Bronze Man playthrough on my newest playthrough. It's on YouTube.
Bronze Man?
Bronze Man is like Iron Man, except it involves way more self-control because there's not actually a mechanic for it. So Bronze Man is you can restart a mission if you want to, but you can't ever. I did find 2 save scums that I did last night. So I think
they never happened if you cut them out when you
2 or 3. No, I edited them in. I made
MLG
sure there's
Pro in all my videos.
There's like a whole thing. I'll show you here in a minute. There's like a whole thing where it comes up with the load screen. It just says save scum because I feel like all my failures should be shared with the world.
Humble.
Is it humble or masochism?
There's basically Bronze Man is where you can only reload a mission. You can't actually revert to an earlier save in that mission.
Your characters are dead.
So yeah. I mean, if your characters are dying, you have to start the whole mission over, which I haven't been doing. Like I said, I've saved scum twice so far, and I know I've got at least 2 more coming in a black site mission. But dude, that game, I have been amazed at like how tactical you can get in that game, like the builds and stuff. And like now that I think I've spent about 40 hours with it. Like it's definitely like a 9 out of 10 game for me. Like they have just completely nailed it. And I know I talk about XCOM all the time.
Well, it's a great game.
But
yeah, and you've been making serial killers in there.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say, I am going to be releasing some Steam Workshop content pretty soon. I've been making a whole bunch of serial killers, psychopaths, spree murderers. It's called the Psycho Pack.
Nice.
Psycho Pack Character Pack.
They can redeem themselves for the world.
And then you play them in an Iron Man game, and you don't have to feel guilty when they die.
Yeah.
That was kind of my point, is that, if you have the Manson family, and you're sending the Manson family out to go murder a bunch of aliens, when they die, you're just sort of like, they were the Manson family.
I had an idea for a killer, but I don't think you added him, but I don't know. I'll tell you after.
No, who is it?
George Zimmerman.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a little controversial, but
I got the Columbine shooters in there. I'm not really, but I've got the Virginia Tech shooter, Adam Lanza. Who else? Who's the James Holmes, the theater shooter?
You are a terrible human being.
I mean, they're gonna go die for the resistance. They're gonna redeem themselves. I thought about doing the Boston Bombers. I think I'm drawing the line at the Boston Bombers. Like, I already feel pretty guilty about Adam Lanza.
Yeah, but aren't all these... Oh, no. Some of the Manson family are still alive. I was about to say, because most of these people are dead.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I think most of the Manson family still is alive.
I know one recently died because of, I don't know, cancer or something.
Is Squeaky Fromm still alive?
Squeaky Fromm might be.
I mean, obviously
I think she might be the one who just died. Charlie is alive and well and active and dancing.
I don't know if I'd say well.
Well, I mean,
as well as he can.
Videos
be.
I've seen of him, he seems to be a dancing fool. So
I thought which one's the one that climbed the telephone pole that cut the wires?
Tex Watson.
I thought he died.
Tex Watson might have died.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't ever do an image search of that crime scene.
No, don't.
No,
I mean,
did.
Unless you're into that, then do it.
No, I was looking up because they had an old school cool thing on Reddit with Sharon Tate, and I was like, man, she was hot. And
she was gorgeous.
And I looked up Sharon Tate and
oh, hey, there's her murdered naked body.
Murdered naked pregnant body, and I'm like, nah, I don't like this.
Yeah, it'll disturb you to see Sharon Tate murdered.
Yeah, or anybody murdered for that matter.
It's true, unless you're a very, very certain kind of special.
Yep. But anyways, at this point, we're going to take a break. We're going to try and get serial killers off the brain, and we'll come right back with some news. Welcome back. What do you think of that music, guys?
That was fantastic. What was that, trance?
It was. It was totally some dancing fool music.
Yeah, I mean, I was over here dancing in the corner. It was a lot of fun.
He kept rubbing his face a lot. It was weird.
It was almost like someone put something in my drink.
The ecstasy sweats because I put it in his drink.
Oh, you bastard.
Well,
That's why I'm in such a good mood.
Exactly. I figured it would help. So yeah, let's go to some news now. We're going to start off talk about cross-platform. Microsoft has opened up cross-platform play between Xbox, PC, and, quote, other devices.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't actually say it, but everybody knows that what other devices, they mean the people on PlayStation. Because that's obviously the big competitor there. And I think it's a good move. I've been waiting for a long time on this one.
I think as long as they're doing the right games. Like, they tried this with Shadowrun, and on PC, it made Shadowrun very simplistic. Was not an enjoyable shooter.
Well, they should just
it could have been.
They should just open up keyboard and mouse controls on an Xbox, and then they'd be fine.
I mean, if they did that, yeah.
They did that
that
on,
was the big problem, was that
PS3.
the keyboard and mouse players were just annihilating the controller players. So yeah, if you put in the keyboard and mouse capability on Xbox One, why not? You know, you could pretty much any shooter, you could pretty much have cross-platform.
Isn't the first game slated for this Rocket League?
Rocket League is already cross-platform.
Yeah, PS4 and PC, I think.
So I have Rocket League. I think I got Rocket League for you guys.
Yes, we have Rocket League.
And you can play with people on PS4.
Yeah, and now Xbox wants you to play with PC people here soon, and they're hoping Sony will be like, yeah, I'm on board.
So, Sony did respond, but they said that they're open to talks about it.
Yeah, there
was a very, very
I actually have the
PR quote.
Yeah, it was a very vague quote.
Like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We can talk about it.
It was kind of like it was almost like Microsoft by not actually saying Sony, but they did it. And I've got the quote here. Sony is happy to have the conversation with any publisher or developers who are interested in cross-platform play.
Yeah.
That makes me happy that the console war is ending, because maybe that means that the retards in the PC Master Race subreddit will finally stop clamoring to be a part of it.
You know, I actually saw a meme. I thought I sent it to you guys. A meme
did.
The other, yeah. Of the orcs.
Console gaming's not dying. It's just gonna evolve into almost PC gaming.
It's just gonna be exactly.
It's gonna be almost PC gaming. It won't be PC gaming.
No, it won't ever be
then.
PC gaming. I mean, that would be the death of consoles. Honestly, I mean, we were talking about this the other day. Like, what I would like to see is some proprietary hardware from console manufacturers.
Yeah.
Give us a disc player, to let me play my 360 game on my computer. Just read the DRM and access an emulator. Give me a hardware emulator I can install. I'll be happy. And let me mod the fuck out of the game.
I mean, there's only like a bajillion 360 games you can choose from too,
including Red Dead Redemption, which we'll be talking about later.
Oh yeah.
So Oculus Rift launching March 28th, launching here in a couple of weeks.
A couple of days,
launching next week.
By the time this is out, it will be.
It'll probably be out or in a few days.
Yeah. 30 launch titles.
Yeah, I was looking at them. There was a.
Everybody is raving. Everybody says the killer app is Dead and Buried.
Never heard of that one.
Dead and Buried is
we were
the
just
shooter.
talking about that. It's got a bunch of different mini games. They're Western themed.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like one was saying in this article I found was you're like in a poker game in the saloon, and then all of a sudden things go bad, and then you have to lower the motion touch things to your hips to pull your guns, start doing a cover fight.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be pretty cool.
It does look pretty good.
Honestly.
There was another one.
Where do you get the games? It's not on Steam or anything.
I think there's gonna be a proprietary Oculus store.
Oh, that's right, because it competes with Steam.
Yeah, it is a direct competitor.
That might not be good for them.
I think that's really the big hang up in VR right now.
I think the Vive will.
Oh, Vive is already there. I mean, the thing is Vive said already, I believe, that they're not going to have any exclusive titles. Yeah. Like, we're not doing title exclusivity because it's peripheral. It's a peripheral. It's not a game system on its own.
Yeah.
You're not paying $800 and then another $800 to have two of them so you can play all the games. You're going to pay your $800 one time, and then you're going to buy whatever games you're playing, and hopefully they have support.
Wait, there are games that require you to have two Oculus Rifts?
No. What I'm saying is Oculus is going to have exclusive titles.
Okay.
So if you wanted to play with the Vive, if you liked the Vive, and you bought the Vive in the beginning, then you would have to also go buy an Oculus.
Oh, it's kind of like buying multiple consoles.
Right. You would have to basically they don't want to. It sounds like Valve does not want any part of the console war. Which is honestly the next big battleground. VR is the next big battleground. Sony announcing theirs last month or a couple weeks ago.
They announced it a while ago. They did.
They just priced it.
That's what it was. They priced it.
Yeah, because it was Project Morpheus last E3. Well, it was in existence before last E3, but they didn't talk about it at all in their conference.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got the Oculus. 30 titles. I don't know which ones are Oculus exclusives. I believe they're going to have their own Oculus store. I mean, they got that Facebook money now. They can afford a little more. I think honestly that if Facebook hadn't bought them, there wouldn't be an Oculus for one thing, and there would not be any chance of them having an Oculus store. It would have just been it works with the same games Vive works with. And that is a little worrisome because I want VR to take off. I think VR is cool. I have a lot of fun reading about it anyway. I've never tried it because I don't have $1,200 laying around. But
who does? Well, none of us.
Well, let me do my tax return. I might, but
yeah, I was gonna say I'm thinking that the next big computer upgrade is gonna get my computer Vive ready. Because I think I'm more or less sold on the Vive. I think the Vive is the better deal.
What kind of specs do you need to have for the Vive?
I believe you have to have an i7, or maybe it's an i5 equivalent. You need to have at least 16 gigs of RAM, or 8 gigs of RAM. They recommend 16. You need to have a video card that's capable of 4K output because it's too. And this is for the Oculus, by the way. The Vive might be spec less. You need to have it's basically 2 screens of 2K output. What the input to your eyes is.
Here's a question. When you go, since Vive is obviously a Valve product, if you're buying your stuff through the Steam store, do you basically, like, if you don't have the Vive, but, like, you buy the game so you can play it on your PC, and then later down the road you do get the Vive, do you have to buy the game again?
So, no, actually.
Okay,
so
so
Elite Dangerous is already Vive compatible.
Okay, so you just, like, you're basically, you can get a game for not really 2 systems, but you can get a game for your PC.
Yeah.
And then later you can just say, well, I want the Vive and I want to play that game. So
Yeah.
all right,
Exactly.
That's nice.
Exactly.
So are you leaning
That's
more
nice.
towards the Vive or the Oculus?
I think I'm probably going to grab the Vive.
It sounds more versatile.
It's on Steam. It's there.
It's already got a support network.
Out of the box, it is the killer. The killer app for that is Elite Dangerous.
It just seems like they played their cards so close to their chest about the Vive. It's like I haven't really heard much about it until like recently.
Oculus pretty much did their development in like an open room.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they gave everybody developer kits, and you saw that
Valve-
shit on YouTube for years.
Valve
Yeah.
always seems to play everything close to the vest.
Yeah, and honestly, I think probably when Vive releases, that's when we're going to hear about the next 3. We're going to hear about the 3. We're either going to hear Left 4 Dead 3 is very rumored.
Team Fortress 3.
Yeah.
We'll get a 3 we don't want. Team Fortress 3. Left 4 Dead 3. Well, actually, I'd play Left 4 Dead 3.
I'd play Left 4 Dead 3.
I would too.
But everybody
Left 4 Dead
wants...
2 is still perfect.
We're already getting
fun.
the Aperture Lab game.
Did you watch that video?
I
have not.
If that hadn't sold you on VR at this point, it should, because that was amazing.
I mean,
Guess I better
Maria...
check it out.
Yeah.
I think it was in Source 3, I think. I don't know.
Source 2.
Source
Source 2
2?
is the
Whatever the
one.
new Source is. I just skipped 2 and just went to 3,
You know, if I
They're
were Valve,
incapable of
I would
threes.
just- if I were Valve, I would just skip 3s and just.
Yeah. If they just said...
I would
We've
build
talked
it,
about it
yeah.
before. Just
They
like
should-
it's Source 4 or Left 4
should
Dead
make-
4.
Or give it a subtitle like Source, the Source. Like
They should make
Which
it.
is also
They should
the
make
name of a
Half-Life
hot
4.
sauce.
Make Half-Life 4, and then the whole game you're playing is somebody else, and you don't know who it is, and then you find out at the end of the game, like, oh yeah, rest in peace, Gordon Freeman. He's been dead the whole time. And then you're like, what? Where's the game that he died? And then Valve's like, we'll never release it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
where
think
their headquarters is, but there would be riots and burnings in that town.
Bellingham, I think.
thought-
Bellingham, Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
Or Seattle. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
I was wanting VR. I just didn't know which VR I was going to get. But I don't know if it was going to be the PlayStation. It'd probably be a PC one if I get it. And then, I mean, the Vive, it's Steam, Valve, and they're already together.
It's Steam and HTC. It's Valve and HTC have come together to make a VR headset. And it comes with the controllers. That's really what kind of pushed me to that side.
Oculus, you don't get the controllers.
You don't get the controllers.
That's messed
they send
up,
you an
man.
Xbox One controller to use initially.
Because I don't have enough of those.
Yeah.
That's a great
You're going to have
controller,
to
though.
buy the Oculus Touch separately.
How much are those going for?
I don't know if they've put out a price yet.
So
I don't
you
know if
guys
they're done
spend like
developing them.
$800 for the headset. And
The headset's $699.
How much is the
$700 for
Vive?
the headset? And I would assume it's probably going to be $50-$60 at least for the controllers, if not another $100. The Vive is $799. The Vive's $100 more, but I really feel like it's kind of potato because you got to buy the controllers. Like those, they're pretty much price competitors at this point.
I think if Microsoft came out and just said, oh yeah, all of those headsets work on ours, we just didn't want to make one.
I think
But hey, the Kinect is compatible with it, so stop shitting on the
We
Kinect.
talked about that last week in the news where Microsoft has announced that they're adopting a wait-and-see policy when it comes to VR.
I think they should just say, yeah, you can use all that with ours.
I think they're more worried about the HoloLens. I think whereas Sony and Oculus and Valve have all gone, okay, we want to do virtual reality. It kind of excites me that Microsoft was like, well, we want to do augmented reality. You know, we want you to be able to play with stuff in your room. And they've tried to do that with the Kinect. I mean, you remember that first Kinect video when they first announced the Kinect, and it was like, the thing was alive. It was like having fucking AI in your goddamn living room.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, scan this skateboard, put it in the game.
It was also pre-recorded.
You know, and it was all pre-rendered, pre-recorded. It was
Because
all...
when they were at the press conference, he's moving around. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that's not at all what's going on screen.
Well, no, I'm talking about that first commercial they put out when they
Is it
announced
the one with the
what
avatars
Kinect...
talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like talking to them and stuff like that. And it was like, wow, dude, like Microsoft is really doing some exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're taking the Nintendo route, because Nintendo did, like, with the DS, they did some augmented reality stuff. Not, like, hardcore, but they did have, like, mini games.
Yeah, it came with the 3DS when it first came out.
Yeah, like, you could spin around the room, and there would be, like, aliens, spaceships.
With your face on.
Yeah.
You shoot your face out of the sky.
And did you see the Young Conquer, the HoloLens, the first HoloLens title that was announced?
No, the Conquer that y'all were bitching about?
Oh, man. Honestly, it looks cool.
It looks like it'd be fun.
It doesn't look like Conquer.
Yeah.
I mean, Conquer doesn't say, oh, heck.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, that's not a word. Those aren't words that come out of Conquer's mouth. But it is, it's situational. It's, like, aware of what's in your living room. So, like, in the video, like, he's, like, running across the couch, and you, like, actually have to jump onto the arm of the couch. Or if he, like, gets close to the edge of a table, like, he starts doing the whole balancing thing. Huh. And it's gimmicky. It's just to sort of show off what the HoloLens is capable of.
Yeah.
But I can see it working. I can see it working really well. And I'm kind of excited somebody's working on AR.
As long as it doesn't go the way of the Kinect, because the Kinect was capable of a lot. But all we got was a bunch of shitty dance games that I, for some reason, owned.
That's sort of what bugs me about the Kinect, is, like, once they open sourced the Kinect hardware, I mean, not that they open sourced it, but they did, like, sort of release an SDK.
There was medical applications for it and everything.
Or a developer kit for the... Yeah, I mean, they have medical applications. Like, out in Albuquerque, Intel created this real-time mapping thing so that, like, you had a sandbox with a Kinect over it, and then you would make, like, sandcastles, and it would make real-time topographical maps that it projected onto your sandcastles.
Yeah.
Told you the height of them and stuff. So, like, there's really a lot of possibility for the Kinect, like, in what the Kinect does. And I just feel like they went, we're going to make dance games.
It worked in Paranormal Activity, though. If you ever want to find ghosts, just leave your Kinect on.
Oh, really?
They really do that?
It was actually really good. It was really well done.
You're still not selling me on this movie, by the way. It still sounds like...
Oh, no, it's more the same, but I mean...
Which one is this?
4?
Okay.
I think it was 4. No, 3 was the 3 was the prequel, but 4, yeah, they had the Kinect, and, you know, they had little made up fictional uses for the Kinect. It's like, put it in this mode, and it shows a bunch of dots all over the room, and then all of a sudden you see some of the dots moving, and you're like, holy shit, there's a ghost over there.
Yeah. Steve's also just had Ghost on the brain lately.
Oh, yeah, fucking ghosts.
So speaking of VR, PlayStation VR scheduled for an October release, a price tag. You guys ready for this?
Hit me with it.
$400. $400.
$400.
It's probably gonna be just 1080p in each eye.
Caveat, it's gonna require an external processing unit.
Yeah.
To the PlayStation. However, and I'm gonna go ahead and link this in. Sony is working on an upgraded PS4 that'll be capable of displaying at 4K.
That'll be the one I get.
Yeah, I think that might sell me on the PS4.
I'm glad I waited.
Finally, we actually have a next generation console.
Yeah, there's rumors though that also Microsoft is planning that with their Xbox One.
Oh, god damn it!
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they're just gonna adopt one of the existing headsets.
Probably.
I mean, I think they're just going to go, okay, we're Vive compatible, or we're Oculus. Really, more likely is we're Oculus compatible.
Go on the shelf next to my HD DVD player with my 360.
Right? Yeah. Also, Sony is not going to certify any games that drop below 60 frames a second for VR.
That's the thing. In the last two E3s, that has been the argument with console gaming. Just 60 frames this, 60 frames that. And I get it. I mean, it's nice playing the games at 60 frames, but to outright say that they're not going to certify it, if a game comes out and it dips to 59, there's going to be a shitstorm.
Well, I mean, with VR though, this is just VR. They're not going to certify games for VR that dip below 60 frames a second.
Well, I don't know of any games on PS4 that are below 60 besides Just Cause 3, I think.
Yeah. Oculus, actually, has, I think it's 75 frame per second minimum. And they want you to average more 90 to 120.
Well, yeah,
because
it's going on your head. You want that.
It's going
to be seamless.
Yeah, you need it to be as seamless as possible and to refresh. I mean, that's why the whole point behind the 2 globally refreshing screens, Oculus, which I'm assuming the Vive has too. I mean, it makes sense. I am rescinding my opinion that the Sony VR will be crap, because it sounds like they are going to release some upgraded hardware. They're going to have some external processing to take care of some of the incidentals. It was only like, they said it would cover like the home screen and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, when the PS4 came out, they weren't really thinking about VR. That was still
yeah.
They weren't, but it was a thing. They should have been.
They should have
thinking about it.
But I like that they're like, well, this is a thing, and even if if it doesn't take off, it's not like it's a bad idea to release an upgraded PS4 that can do 4K output.
I'm more concerned with an upgraded Xbox, because that thing needs to be upgraded. They focus too much on TV and
they made it
the all-in-one. Fucking Don Matrick. By the way, fuck you, Don Matrick. Yeah. It's the weekly reminder that you need to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
die in a fire.
We've talked about like how the Xbox went, well, we're not really a game console.
Yeah,
that is how they seem to start.
We are a home entertainment console, and I was like, yeah, I don't have cable. I don't plug anything into HDMI in on my Xbox One.
Right.
Unless it's a PS3, then I want to get around the HDCP stripping to capture it with the Gato, but because you totally can.
I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Either buy this $40 part that strips it and an HDMI cable, or plug it into your Xbox One. Just sync your audio up. Yeah. Well, there's going to be don't use the TV as your screen though, because it'll be a delay. But yeah, I mean, what is the max res on a lot of cross-platform games, or not cross-platform?
It's pretty much 1080.
Well, on an Xbox One, there's some games that are 900p, which, you know, I'm not nitpicking. That's fucking close, but still.
You're a stickler for 1080.
I don't like 720. That's the thing. If you're going to be HD, be anything not 720. But again, that's what all 360 games were. They were all 720. Even though the back of the disc said, "Oh, it's 1080p," and I'm like, "No, it's not. It's up converting from 720, which is not the same as 1080." But
getting a little heated there. Calm down.
I don't fucking like 720.
Calm down, Steve.
Calm down.
All this over.
Everybody, calm down.
Everybody, simmer.
All this over a or a screen resolution.
And Don Matrick.
And Don Matrick. Really, you mentioned Don Matrick anywhere around Steve, you just leave the room and you'll come back and it'll be fucking destroyed.
We already have a console that you can play a 360 games on. You will work at Zynga and then get fired from Zynga.
Oh, that
piece of shit.
Well, Zynga's honestly... Well, anyways.
He got fired from Zynga.
Yeah, well... Zynga's going under.
Circling the drain anyway.
Yeah, Zynga's circling the drain right now.
Couldn't happen to a nicer company.
Nintendo. Everybody loves Nintendo news.
I love Nintendo.
Nintendo is releasing its first smartphone app.
Yeah?
It's called Miitomo.
It's in Japan now.
Yep, it's out on Japanese smartphones right now. You can't get it on American smartphones as far as I know.
To be fair, their phones are a lot smarter than ours.
It's a social network with your me.
Well,
which we kind of have on the 3DS that nobody uses.
Like, you couldn't
made
see
a jerking off hand motion.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
And a raspberry.
Thank you. I totally forgot about the visual comedy does not work well.
Theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind. See it in your mind's eye, people.
Jake was jerking off in the air.
Currently, it's on iOS and Android phones, but only in Japan. I've seen a little bit of it. It looks boring.
I think they were just looking to say if we can make an app, which anybody can make an app at this point.
There was a not exactly a chat system. Have you ever heard of IMVU?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah.
It seems like that, where basically you create a little avatar and you like put them in a room and you chat with people and you interact with the avatar.
It just I don't.
Nothing about that is interesting.
What the hell, Nintendo?
It sounds like it's.
Do we really need another social network?
To be fair, Nintendo has been very adamant about not wanting to do anything social with their games. Like they don't like the Facebook.
Well, obviously it's because they don't know how.
Well, I know, and I think this is just them, trying to figure things out. I guess
like
I don't
experimental
know.
thing.
I mean, maybe it's
good
cooler
for them
than it looks, but it was just like, okay, you have this avatar.
Well, maybe this is something also that's like it sounds boring to us, but maybe this is something that would be really huge.
Oh,
in
it's
Japan.
it's going gangbusters in Japan.
Well,
Who
yeah,
knows?
they like all kinds of weird shit
And
over
also,
there. I
I
mean,
mean,
look at their games.
It's the
Right. Like, they have an entire genre of games that's literally just about, like,
High school kids.
high school romance.
High school
Like,
romance, and then
and
they go
it
in the
does-
TV at night, and then they fight the monsters.
And it does gangbusters, dude. Like, Persona
Too bad. To be fair, that is an amazing
or
game. by the
any
way.
visual novel. What, Persona?
Persona 4 is amazing.
Everybody, actually, my buddy Galen has been telling me,
If you
gotta
don't like
play Persona.
if you don't like JRPGs, you'll like that one because it's tries so hard to be American.
Maybe I'll give it a try because Persona did look interesting. Because isn't it pretty much Pokemon except you're banging your Pokemon?
Well,
Because they're all your girlfriends.
That's very different.
You. Well, I don't think they show them banging, but yeah, you can collect girlfriends and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a visual novel, except it's also like a monster fighting game.
Which makes me want another bully game, but without monster fighting.
Oh my god!
Now that you said high school simulator,
dude, where is Bully 2?
God damn it, Rockstar. Okay, here's a list: Don Matrick, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Don Matrick.
Rockstar, whichever studio that doesn't make Bully 2.
Yeah, which isn't making another Bully game.
But
fuck
I still love you,
I was
Rockstar.
about to say, you should have
Whichever
like that,
Rockstar didn't release Red Dead Redemption on PC, fuck you.
Yeah, but we still love you, Rockstar.
But we love you, and please give us a new Red Dead game. Speaking of which,
There is a rumor, isn't there?
there's a rumor.
The stupid
It's floating
fucking
around the
title.
internet. It's drifting around. It's probably bullshit, but Rockstar is rumored to be announcing a new Red Dead Redemption
At
or a
E3?
new Red Dead game at E3.
I don't know. They don't really do E3.
They don't
Historically.
but they do. They are there this year.
Yeah, that's
they?
the thing that's weird. Unless they're changing because historically they don't announce. Well, ever since they got to be as big as they were, they don't really announce things at E3. They just like, oh yeah, that's like the biggest Rockstar announcement at E3 lately was like the next gen version of GTA 5, that game that everybody's already beaten,
No,
coming out.
Are they actually having a like a news press conference at G3 or E3, or are they actually like just having a booth?
I think it's probably. I think that's the big.
Question.
Nobody really knows.
Well,
at this
the
point.
thing that's happening,
I don't know. I haven't read. It's not something I really read too much
thing
about.
that's happening at E3 now, and it's been happening for a few years, is everybody's doing their own thing outside of E3. Because Nintendo, everybody shat on Nintendo when they're like, we're gonna do these little stupid YouTube videos, and y'all are gonna watch it. And now that actually works better than going to E3.
Yeah,
And-
People
yeah.
want all the crowds. And
Speaking of circling the drain, I think E3 is going the way of the dinosaur.
Oh yeah, it needs to.
Like the last
and then
E3
come
I
back.
watched,
It needs to be reborn in 5 years.
like the live tweets I had were I went back and read them like about a year later or what. The last E3 I watched, maybe it was I think it was about a month ago. I went back and read all my live tweets because I wanted to see what I said about stuff.
Yeah.
And I was live tweeting E3, and it was just like,
Cool.
Can you just show the game, please? Like, do we really need to have like,
I don't-
what's her name, Aisha Tyler come out?
all this pageantry and
By the way, we like you, Aisha Tyler.
Aisha Tyler, you're fucking awesome.
You are a hilarious woman.
Yes.
Refresh my memory. Who
Don't.
was-
Aisha Tyler is Lana from
Lana!
And I will never say anything bad about Aisha Tyler. However, like all of those press conferences, it was like the same thing. There's a bunch of music, and then like
I'm just glad it's not
maybe a
dubstep
dance
anymore.
thing.
That was every
Yeah.
EA conference for
Well,
2 years.
Now they've just embraced pop music again.
Oh yeah.
So and then like somebody comes out and sits on the stage and they play the game for 10 minutes to like show the gameplay, and it's obviously pre-recorded footage.
Here's the thing that I don't like about those press conferences. I love the press conferences, but at the same time, I don't care about a Microsoft press conference or a Sony press conference anymore because we have new consoles. I don't have. Is there a new Xbox coming out? I don't care. I already know what it looks like, and I'm
you
playing the
just
game.
want, like developer content.
I love Ubisoft's press conference for the reason why the last 4 years in a row, and just one more thing before we go, the final video they release is amazing. And, to be fair, 2 of those games are kind of at this point. But, Watch Dogs, that was a, like, holy shit, what am I watching moment? Because I don't know how that did not leak. That was amazing. And that video was amazing. The game, not so amazing.
I wish the game was
Then
as
you played
amazing
the
as
game.
that initial preview
like, oh,
The
video
Division.
was.
The next year it was The Division.
Yep.
That was an amazing video. And the game, I mean, it's better than Watch Dogs. I think they learned. But then the next year, Rainbow Six Siege. that was an amazing video, but then it's all multiplayer. Okay, well I hope I have 6 friends to play with.
Yeah,
it's kind of a downside for Ubisoft. They like build it up and make it all seem so exciting, and then they never deliver.
Do you remember last year's?
Last year's was.
I do.
Was it?
I remember
Ghost Recon.
That's right. It was the new Ghost Recon,
and
which
that was
looks
amazing,
fantastic.
I know,
that's right?
And I'm just like,
where they
what
showed like the 3 different ways you could beat the mission and stuff. Yeah.
And that's the thing is now we come to expect that from Ubisoft. This year, I predict it'll be a Watch Dogs 2 at some point in the press conference.
I'm hoping we're going to see Splinter Cell.
That would be better.
I want a Splinter Cell where you can create your own scenarios.
I think honestly, Splinter Cell, go back to the old Chaos Theory engine. Or just the controls and stuff.
Yeah.
Give me a world where I can create my own missions.
I like the Splinter Cells that were more
like
technical.
Hitman. Do it like Hitman.
Yeah.
Like, give me episodic content and just keep it coming. Just give me a big open world to play around in Splinter Cell.
I just like Splinter Cell because it was technical.
Boy.
The first 3 were just technical. Like, it's like, you go to a door and, you hold down A and you have, like, the different things you can do with that door. And then this new one, it's like, hit X while running and you can kick the door open and then shoot everybody. Or look under the door, maybe. Or
I haven't played.
As technical.
Blacklist is on my... Maybe I'll do that for next week.
It is
I've
a good
heard
Splinter Cell.
good things about Blacklist.
It's a mixture of conviction and chaos theory.
You guys know that I'm like the biggest fucking Splinter Cell fanboy.
Oh yeah.
And like if they announced a new Splinter Cell, I would just jizz in my pants. Like there's just like as long as it was as good, especially if it's like if it had a lot of the social features we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, make a map and share it. Or
I would love that.
Honestly, the Splinter Cell game they needed to make was we want a co-op Splinter Cell game because I don't know if you've ever played Chaos Theory on co-op. If you, we might need to do that.
We need to
just for the channel, because that is honestly one of my favorite things in the world is Splinter Cell co-op.
I just want it to interact with Ghost Recon. Like I want it to all be one world.
Put it all in one world.
Have we talked about this in the podcast? I know we've talked about it.
We've talked about it. I don't know if we've talked about our theory on the podcast about how everything like Splinter Cell, The Division.
Like, if you're doing a mission in Splinter Cell and you're doing the stealth version of this, and it's like you got to go in there and you got to hack this thing and you got to take down these things because we're going to have a squad coming in to go clear it out. But
you want to be like that.
And then you play the game and you're Splinter Cell and you go in and you hack it and you do the things and you lower the defenses so a squad comes in. And then at the same time, like on a separate game that's released either the same day or months later, you're playing Ghost Recon. You're that fucking squad, and you're like, oh, we have an agent that's infiltrated, and they disable the defenses for you, and you could fucking cross paths at one point.
You want it to be like
even though you wouldn't cross paths with Splinter Cell
in real life, like a CIA operative who would go in before the special forces and the special.
Just make it one universe.
Yeah, they fight like they get all the information for the special forces, and then the special forces comes in and takes it out.
Just like you were telling me about what was it? It was Chaos Theory. Whenever you remember you were telling me
there's a mission where like you interrogate a guy on Chaos Theory in the co-op mode, and they're like, well, we have another asset in the field that needs to talk to him, and then fucking Sam Fisher comes on the line and is like, okay, ask him this, ask him this, ask him this. Yeah. You ask him, and then while you're playing the single player, like when you play the single player, it all goes through and does. You get to a point, and it's like, oh, I this information, I don't have it. And then those two guys get on the line, and there's this sort of
the
connection.
The two games crossed over.
The two games, well, I mean, it was the same game, but it was like the co-op and the single player had that crossover that made it clear this is the same world. These things are all happening in the same place. Like, really, what you're talking about, I don't even really need that much, is like give me that little bit of interactivity in the world. You know, give me that little bit of like, I just sort of want those guys to, like talk to each other. You know, like you get on the thing and it's Ding Chavez. And Ding Chavez is like...
Yeah, then Rainbow Six?
Yeah, Rainbow Six. Like, Rainbow Six is like, we're getting ready to move a team in. You need to be out of... you're fucking Sam Fisher. And Ding Chavez is like, Sam, you need to get the fuck out. Like, we're about to move our team in, and you will be shot.
If there is any government or any organization that could communicate with a third echelon member, it would probably be a Rainbow Squad
Six.
member. Yeah,
It would totally be Rainbow Six.
Is Jack Ryan the president in any of those games?
I don't
they
know.
Ever reference
I
him?
feel like they need to make him the president.
Yeah.
Like just like at this point,
Get Harrison Ford in there.
There needs to be there needs to be a Clancy verse.
Well, on Ubisoft, on what is it you played? They have the Tom Clancy universe, and I don't think it's really a shared universe. I think it's just all of the games with his name on it.
There's no way that the Division exists in the same world.
The far future.
It's not the far future.
It's just New York.
If it was the
that
far
tiny
future,
little
I mean,
town
like
in New York.
maybe it's 2020. You know, like they've got some cool AR stuff, but I mean, we've got that with Google Glass. You know,
Yeah.
like I mean, it's not the far future. It's clearly not the far future.
Yeah.
And it's also, you know, just
There's no flying cars that fold into briefcases.
exactly.
It's not future.
There's no laptops that talk to you, and know what kind of pornography you like. Get on that. Anyways,
Always
moving
go
on.
back to porn.
Speaking of porn, Ark has a poop mechanic.
Oh,
There's
man.
a segue.
Speaking of porn, Ark has a poop mechanic. You told me about this 2 days ago.
Ark does have a poop mechanic.
I always wondered why my guy shits himself
but
every now
because
and
they
then.
didn't want to build in a suicide mechanic, so you can eat your own shit until you die. I just wanted to mention that.
Do they have a mechanic that makes me not want to kill myself after playing the game?
No, that's
Okay.
that's.
They still don't know anything about optimization, do they?
I think it's still averaging about 25 frames a second.
Which is great if you're a film from the 90s.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, is that they didn't want to build in that suicide mechanic. So they
See, the
built
thing
a
is
poop mechanic.
we shit on Ark because... Yeah,
Good
hey,
segue there.
hey, I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking about shitting on Ark. But we shit on Ark because that's a game I want to work. That's a game I want to play. Like that. And the thing that makes me upset about it is not the trailer on the Steam store that I saw of people playing riding on goddamn dinosaurs in a volcano.
Shooting assault rifles at each other.
It's not this game, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, how do I do this? How do I get a dinosaur? And it's like, I gotta go to a fucking wiki to learn how to give them narco berries and roofie my dinosaur or whatever the fuck it is you're doing.
Like tutorial. They don't tell you anything in Ark.
No, they drop you in. Some guy who looks like Popeye beats you up and steals your stuff. And that's the world.
Every now and then you come upon a mud hut hanging on the side of the body of water. What is this floating, glowing shit in the sky? I don't know. When it works, and if it's ever optimized, I'll play it then. But it is what's wrong with early access.
It is a good example.
It is.
Of that.
It's it's a perfect example of what's
because
bad about
that
early
is the most
access.
overly hyped early access game. It's fucking everywhere. It was on the Humble Monthly, and I mean, you see it, and it's on the fucking Xbox One, and you play it, and it's like, wow, this plays like a pile of shit. Cool, thanks. Shit again. But I'm just like, fucking Ark, man. Don Matrick, Ark.
Oh yeah, let's add Ark to the fuck you list.
And 10 people that are not making Bully 2 and Red Dead 2.
We just need to register beardyheadsfuckyouList.com.
Stop making Grand Theft Autos for 5 years.
Dave,
make those.
Is there anybody you want to add to the fuck you list?
No, not right now. Maybe later.
You'll come up with one.
Eventually.
It's okay.
It's
all me. I'm pretty sure me and Steve are dominating it, but I'm sure you're not going to argue with Ark needs to be.
Oh God, no. Fuck no.
Like that's a terror. There's so much potential.
Yeah.
And it's just squandered.
There are fucking dinosaurs in this game.
The only
and
way
you can ride them.
The only way to have fun with that game right now is to cheat.
Yeah, that's the only time I've had fun is cheating and going, okay, we're going to create a bunch of terrible things.
They released a new Ark little side game.
Yeah, they did it's a free to play. So
it's a battle arena. I think they said they were, I could have sworn I read it somewhere, they were trying to get into esports.
The Battle Royale thing right now, the drop 10 people in and one person leaves. Like the whole Hunger Games, that's getting really big in gaming.
I mean,
so
you can do that in Minecraft if you want. I mean,
I'm pretty sure Ark, that was what sold me on Ark, is there's a Hunger Games mod that drops you in and then you have to like kill everybody else, but you can team up.
Still got to kill them eventually.
Arma 3, that's what sold me on Arma 3, was Battle Royale for Arma 3. I watch, there's a streamer called John of All Games.
Still need to play Arma 2.
Yeah.
I have it. I can play it now.
Honestly, I started playing it. I downloaded the Invasion 44 mod.
Does it have controller support?
Somehow got it to work.
Can I plug my 360 controller in?
Do you have a controller with about 800 buttons on it?
That is the issue. Like,
that was at one of those games. It's like Deus Ex, where it's like, I got a button for
like
walking.
I was playing Arma 3, and I was playing it with my X1 controller, and I just switch to the keyboard and
Yeah, I
mouse
might have to
because
do
it
that.
was like, I don't know what these button. There's no button to do this on the controller.
Yeah. Arma 3 definitely looks pretty cool though. Like, and I like the mods.
It is fun.
I like the mods for Arma 2 and Arma 3.
Incredibly realistic.
They had this one mod on Armor 2. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It had zombies in it.
Huh.
It was a big deal.
Oh, you mean the one?
The one they got
The one that's still in early access as its own game?
Oh my god!
How long
dude.
has that game been in early access?
I don't know, but it's too late.
Going on like 2 or 3 years now,
Oh god.
and like
Nobody cares anymore.
I almost bought it, but like number one, when it goes on Steam sale, it drops $5. Like
I think
that
I'm
game
just going to pull the trigger one day. I'll get it the day you get it.
Honestly, I think probably this Steam sale, I think DayZ has a pretty good chance of being picked up. I almost picked it up during winter sale. I will say that.
Yeah.
What I ended up picking up was Star Citizen.
You don't regret that at all.
No, not at all, actually.
Good.
We're gonna at some point we gotta film this. We gotta record this Star Citizen grudge match where you guys just berate me and throw things at me for liking Star Citizen.
It always ends with, that's how capitalism works!
I mean, that's how it works.
And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Your game's not done.
Anyways,
Fuck you, Star Citizen.
Firewatch.
Oh,
Firewatch. Can we say enough good things about Firewatch?
No, that game is just, it's short. It's just, if you're wanting a story and you just
Pretty
wanna
divisive, though, on the ending.
I agree because I was like, I kind of hated the whole switcheroo there.
Yeah.
So that did annoy me. But the rest of it is so well written and so great.
It's a fun game to watch people play.
It is because it's just that kind of game.
Yeah.
But
they make their money back.
They did.
That's the news. That's what they made their money back in a month. They sold 500,000 copies of that game in a month.
Huh.
$20 a pop. That's
$2 million, isn't it?
That's
They're technically an indie dev, aren't they?
Yeah.
they are an indie dev.
Yeah.
So technically about it, they did it all themselves.
What did they
$10 million. Sorry, $10 million.
Yeah.
They published it themselves?
I'm pretty sure.
Self-published.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they did get a distribution deal with Sony,
Oh, yeah, they got it first.
so they got it on the PS4.
It'll be on
I'm
Xbox
sure
One
it'll
one
be on
day.
Xbox One pretty soon.
It's not like it requires much to run it.
No, but it's such a beautiful game, even though it's not like really advanced. But looking at it, the artwork in it is so great.
It reminds me of Long Dark.
It's very Long Dark-esque.
That and their logos both have an axe in it.
Oh,
I've told y'all
think of
that before.
I think I need to revisit the Long Dark and Subnautica, actually. They've been updating like crazy.
I need to get Subnautica.
I think you need to get Subnautica.
They need to
Honestly,
make multiplayer on it.
Dave, you would love Subnautica just because it's an open world game. There's no multiplayer. So they have no other choice but to focus on the story.
Good. That's always been a issue
Yeah.
of mine with building games.
And I think-
there's nothing there except build.
I don't know, you watched me play The Long Dark for a while.
I have. It looks fun. Like what I keep saying to you, I hope that when it's out, there's actually like a single player.
There's going to
story.
there's going to be. So what you're seeing on
It's
Long
locked
Dark
off now, though.
Yeah. Is you're seeing the sandbox
God, watch
mode.
it be amazing, the story.
It's gonna be. There's no other way that could go. Like,
Yeah.
I do not see them spending this much time and care. Like, that is a game you can tell somebody made, and they made it with love. Like, every bit of that game.
Kevin Spacey better be in it.
It's an alpha. Kevin Spacey's gonna be in it.
Kevin Spacey's going to be in it, and Troy Baker's going to voice like 5 people.
That'd be pretty dope, actually.
It'd be kind of weird though. How
Kinda
you gonna
wish-
throw that in? When
That
you're
was in
surviving
Advanced
by
Warfare. I mean, Troy Baker did a voice in there, and Kevin Spacey.
Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey did mocap, didn't he?
Yeah.
he was.
They could have just done the Command and Conquer thing and just made a cutscene with him and filmed it.
That's sort of what I'm interested in.
Even though they always look like shit in those
in
games.
Star Citizen.
I hope it
gonna
doesn't
have-
look like shit, because the Command and Conquer cutscenes and the fucking Wing Commander cutscenes, they look like shit. I mean, it's a low budget movie, is what they're.
Well, they
like.
filmed everything in front of green screen.
Yeah, just build a goddamn
the way
set.
it is. Yeah. I'm with
They need
you.
J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams needs to come show them how it's done.
But yeah, that's about everything we got in the news. I think we covered all the big stuff. Unless you guys.
It's quite a bit of news for 1 week.
That was a long.
the news.
That was a long news thing.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
we also get off on tangents. And
We do.
fucking Don Matrick.
anytime Don Matrick or Ark,
I cannot get him out of my head.
We can't.
Let me look him up. Is he dead yet?
We can't mention Ark without shitting on it, honestly.
Nope, especially when we're talking about shitting in the game.
Yeah. So we're going to go to a quick break. Hopefully we'll have the new segment done. If it is done, we're going to go to what game is this with Maria? And if it's not, then we're going to go to just some music. So I hope the music's good.
I hope it's trance.
I hope it is trance. I'm going to go find some trance. Hello, welcome to What's That Game About? This is the segment where I'm going to ask my girlfriend and beardy friend, who does not game, exactly, I'm just going to give her the name of a game. We're going to ask her what that game is about. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to do my favorite game for the first one.
Okay.
Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Okay. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Well, the first thing I think of is wood. So I just imagine termites.
It's a game about termites.
Yeah, it's a game about termites. I don't know, I guess it would be kind of like a maze game, and the termites would be going through the maze, eating the wood, and avoiding splinters.
And because it says Chaos Theory, one of those termites is voiced by Jeff Goldblum.
You can't add to my game?
I can if I want. Hey, welcome back.
That was some nice trance music.
This is some nice trance music. It was. I hope it's Maria, telling us. I really think I'm just gonna start putting that in once per podcast. What is this game? And we'll have some like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo music.
That was great.
I honestly, Papers, Please. I would play her version of Papers, Please.
yeah,
I am still like, who can I get this idea to make a game out of it?
I see a section, the floor is lava in that game.
I think that's actually a video game.
The floor is lava. Yeah, it's a Newsgrounds or.
That's a Newgrounds game.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
so Congregate or whatever fucking call it.
We are gonna be talking about just developers we like today, because I mean I feel like we do a lot of discussion about the industry, but listen to this podcast because they want to know us as people.
Yes.
Or they just want to know if they should stop listening because we don't like their.
Or like that one chick that's just listening to us while they play Fallout 4.
Yeah, shout out.
If you're single, I know a guy. His name is Dave. He's a nice boy.
If you're into dating podcast hosts.
In Texas.
In Dallas.
He's a mix between John Stamos, a young John Stamos, which is, current John Stamos, and Bradley Cooper.
Not only is it John Stamos, it's that wife, his wife in the show, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca Katsopoulos or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
Katsopopoulos. She still looks good.
Talking about Fuller House, by the way. Yeah, she's got to be in her 50s.
Y'all should watch Fuller House.
She looks like she's in her 20s.
10 out of 10. Great show. I gave it 5 stars. No, it's awful.
You need to be like heavily intoxicated to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I would recommend it.
I mean,
okay.
If you're a kid, you should get heavily intoxicated and watch the original Full House.
That's what we should do for April Fools, is we should just film ourselves getting drunk and watching Full House.
I am off that day.
I mean, this is not a bad plan, I think. I think just stream it on YouTube. Yeah. The Beardyheads Game Extravaganza, except it's just us getting drunk and watching the entire season of Fuller House.
Ugh, god damn.
It won't hurt a bit.
It will hurt a bit.
It'll hurt the day after.
I watched the first episode and I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, not interested.
As soon as that overdubbed line of Donald Trump, and I'm like, really? Just trying to be current, I see. Because that was not said on the day they filmed it. It was so bad.
Dude, it's the first episode, literally like the first 5 minutes, is just the old characters walking in one by one.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, woo!
Yeah, I hated that.
Way too long.
Did they? They didn't film that in front of an actual studio.
I think they did.
Did they really?
Wow, they went all old school, didn't they?
That was the whole thing, is that they rebuilt the entire set. From the original plans. They even went and got all the stuff that was originally in the living room.
It was unsettling to me to watch Stephanie wearing the dress with her boobs out because, me, I'm like, ooh, boobs. But I was just like, I remember Stephanie Tanner as not this.
How rude.
This
you
is
know,
Stephanie
this-
older than you though?
precocious little. I don't know. Is she like
I don't know.
Which one was Stephanie?
35 or something like that?
I don't
I
remember.
don't know. She's the middle child.
I was
right?
never really a fan of Full House.
I don't know. Let's look up Stephanie Tanner. I'm gonna look her up while we get on with the actual video game thing.
No, do it. I think this is good content.
The lovely Jodie Sweetin is 34 years old.
So she's a year older than me.
Yeah, she's 4 years older than
That's
me.
too old to be doing the walk of shame, Stephanie Tanner.
How dare you?
How how rude.
How rude.
What kind of role model are you for children?
Well, the thing is, in that episode, she's wearing that dress, and you know what I'm talking about. The first episode,
Oh, yeah.
tits are out, and I'm like, "What does Bob Saget think of this?" What the whole time I'm watching, I was like, "What does your father think of this family gathering?" And
Oh,
you're
I
dressing
was gonna
like
say
a
Bob
I was
Saget.
gonna say if you've seen Bob Saget stand up,
Oh, I've
he's
seen it.
probably like,
But she was dressed like a
Yeah.
hewer, and I was just like, "Why?"
He's probably like, oh, I remember when I used to take you to the park between filming, and now I'm like,
Oh, that's awful.
Now-
He is a national treasure. How dare you?
Bob Saget.
You ever
I don't
suck
know.
dick for weed?
It's honestly like he's up there for me, you know. But I almost want him to say.
He's
things
actually
like that.
very protective of those girls, like a father.
I believe
Like
it.
he
I'm
really is.
sure he is.
Like when
Seems
people
like
make
the
jokes
other one.
about him, he's just like, "That's not funny."
Yeah, well, he even said he made a joke on the roast of Bob Saget. They had like a whole music video they did with him. He made some.
Yeah, he
very
said
distant-
goodnight. He said goodnight, Michelle, at the end.
Yeah, it was something
Rolling
like.
with Saget with Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, it was something dirty.
Yeah, well, he said
Right
goodnight,
before he said
Michelle.
that, and
yeah.
then he goes goodnight, Michelle, and it was like, oh, really? Come on. So yeah, we're just gonna be talking about developers, which developers we like, why we like them, things that they have done.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and start off. You know who I like is Ubisoft.
Really.
Which one?
I'm
There's
a-
like a million studios.
Well, I mean, as a publisher, I'm a big fan of Ubisoft, and I have been just because of the Splinter Cell franchise.
Yeah.
And sort of back in the early
So
2000s.
Montreal, I believe.
Yeah,
is where they did all
Montreal.
The main Splinter. Well, they didn't do Pandora tomorrow, but they did the good.
But I mean, they do Splinter Cell. They do, you know, like I'm thinking of the golden age of Tom Clancy games.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, Rainbow Six Vegas, Splinter
Yes.
Cell.
Vegas was so good.
Oh, Vegas was amazing. Especially if you played the original Rainbow Six, and it was like too many buttons here. It was too much to do. Like
Yeah.
it was too tactical. And that was a good streamlined version of it.
Yeah.
Like Ghost Recon. That's another one. Like, where's my new Ghost Recon game? I heard that they released a Ghost Recon game. I've never seen footage of it. It may not exist.
Well, it just might not.
What was it? Future Warriors.
That sounds familiar. Wait,
Yeah.
is that the upcoming one?
I think it's already out. I think it came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, no, what was the one that they mentioned in their last part?
That was Wildlands, Ghost Recon
Oh, that's
Wildlands.
it.
Yeah, Wildlands looks really good.
Future Soldier was the Ghost Recon that I played last.
That's the one that bombed, right?
I don't know. Was it successful or not? It was good. It wasn't a bad game. It was not a Ghost Recon game that you're used to.
I mean, I'm
It was
gonna
a cover shooter.
I'm gonna say this. I do like Ubisoft in some ways, but they're not my favorite because they always seem to overpromise. They never deliver.
That's common with a lot of developers too.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of them
true.
do that.
But also, I kind of blame Ubisoft a lot for the yearly release stuff that's going on.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they are taking off. I say to be fair a lot, but they are taking off Assassin's Creed this year.
Oh yeah, one
Oh,
year.
thank God. Like, do we really
Better
need...
than not.
Man,
I mean,
okay,
they're not
so-
Activision.
I gotta say, though, like, Assassin's Creed 2, like, when Ubisoft hits it, man, when they get a chunk of
When
the
they hit
ball,
it, let's go.
it goes out of the park.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Watch Dogs, terrible game. Really terrible is oversaying
it
it.
was
it's
average.
It's mediocre.
That's probably their
I played
worst
worse.
release, and it's meh. You know?
I mean, I
It's-
didn't regret buying it.
It
but I
was
sold
average
as soon
and
as I was
forgettable.
done.
I will play the sequel. I'm not. Even the whole time I'm playing this, I was like, I can't wait to see them improve this, and they will. I have faith they will.
I mean, I like the Assassin's Creed games, but you were getting fatigued from all these stuff every year. But
I don't like
also,
Assassin's Creed games
let's look
except
at
for
it-
4.
Look at it this. Well, the pirate aspect was a lot of fun. But let's look at it this way, though. You say they're taking a year off from Assassin's Creed, except that they're releasing a movie this year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that they were going to make like a movie tie-in, but they are making a movie.
They're making a comic book tie-in for kids.
How do you make a kid's Assassin's
Or it's
Creed
like a
tie-in?
kid, like the
He went and he slapped him.
young adults.
Tickled him until he pissed his pants. And
Not kids, but young adults. It's like the main character will be in high school, which I'm still not sure how that's going to work.
Advanced Warfighter is the game I was trying to think of. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. Fucking amazing.
Was it Advanced Warfare, I think.
No, it's
Advanced
Warfighter. I got
Warfare
it up
is
right
Call of
here.
Advanced Warfighter is a Call of Duty game.
No,
Was that Warfare?
is Call of Duty.
Oh, you found it? Oh. Okay.
Because I guess you're going to go after Activision then.
Well, when I think of yearly release, I always think of Activision and EA because the fucking
obviously.
Madden games.
It's in the game.
Fucking Madden games, I don't know why they still make those, but Madden games and well, they do turn a profit. I guess that's why they make them. But and Activision, I think the last Call of Duty game I liked, that I played. Shit, I don't remember. Black Ops 2, maybe.
I enjoy them. But
I didn't even like Black Ops 1.
I play the campaign, and I'm like, that's
I
a story.
enjoy Black Ops because it's I like the trippy, kind of cheesy spy story.
I think I got to give Black Ops another try, but I know I played through probably about half of the single-player campaign, and I was like, this is an 80s action movie.
It kind of is, but that's why I like it, because it's kind of cheesy.
You didn't like
and
the
silly.
scene when you're in Cuba and you got your machete out and you're just hacking everybody? You're hacking everybody with it? That was kind of cool.
It didn't grab me.
Was that in 1 or 2?
Honestly,
I think
though,
that was 2.
Is that in 2? Yeah.
that was because, they do that because Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1, once again, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
They got a chunk of that ball, and it just went over the fucking... Modern Warfare 1 had one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a game, which was where the nuke.
The nuke. That
where
was
you're
a good
just...
scene.
You're what?
I died.
My character
did I
is
just
dead.
die? I just died? That was the mission, is to crawl around on the ground for 5 minutes and then die? What the hell? And that gave you that emotional connection to it. They were really good at that.
I like the one that 2 did better with where the EMP.
No Russian.
No
Well,
Russian.
no Russian. It was okay. I think that was a little... I think they just made that for the controversy, honestly, because they did that in 3. They tried to in 3, but
at the time though, it wasn't. That was still a new thing though.
yeah, that's true. It's new because they tried to do it again with 3, and I was like, oh, cool, a kid got blown up, suicide, it's dumb. But no, in 2, the EMP, when the EMP goes off or the nuke goes off in the atmosphere or out in space,
then you're going
and
through.
it causes a EMP, and you're in the International Space Station, and you're a fucking astronaut, and then you die, and it just rips it apart. Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
It's for like a second, and then it cuts to on the ground outside of that battle at the White House, I think, and it's dark, and helicopters are falling out of the fucking sky, and you have to run for cover.
Oh,
If
that
you
was a
have
great moment.
If you have a weapon
Yeah.
with a red dot and you look down the sight,
Yeah.
your red dot's gone.
Yep.
Everything's dead.
And then you go. I mean, it was great. It was perfect. And then you get inside, and a fucking 747 lands out in the street. It just crashes into the ground. That was a good moment. I mean, yeah, the nuke going off, that was cool because that was the first time in a game you're like, holy shit, this is what you can do with games. And then the second one, I think they topped it with just that part. I mean, the no Russian thing,
Think about it, though, in
You
the
could not
context
shoot
you
anybody in
were
that.
as a gamer in, 2008? When Modern Warfare 2 came out?
I
2009?
believe so. 2008 sounds about right.
Yeah.
And, everybody was still in this, games are for kids. It was very much a games are for kids sort of
Yeah.
mentality. And,
I figured they would have learned from Grand Theft Auto when that came out. They're not for
everybody
kids.
was focusing on the mobile market, and here we had this series of games that was because I'm going to be the dissenting voice that Call of Duty is a good series.
Well, it's not a
I
bad
don't
game.
disagree with
It's
you.
not a bad series at
they're
all.
not bad.
It's just
They have sort of lost the way.
They have an audience.
one of those things. You just get title fatigue.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is, and it's really that it's Activision, right?
Well,
Activision is owned by
Activision's a
EA.
publisher.
Wait, no.
Okay. So, but it's Infinity Ward is the
Infinity
developer.
Ward, Sledgehammer Games, and
Infinity
Treyarch.
Ward, before everybody went up and left, they were taking years to make their games. Their games were polished.
Well, games generally do take about 2-3 years to actually
they
make a good
still
one.
take years to make it, but they're making so many at once.
Well, they're on a 3-year developing cycle with Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch, and that's why they always have one out a year because it's that studio's turn. Like last year was Black Ops 3, right?
Yeah, last year
That
was Black Ops 3.
Treyarch.
Treyarch.
So this year will be either Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer.
Was there Ghosts? I played a little bit of.
Ghosts.
I think it was Ghosts.
I was with my friend Charlie who was playing that game on multiplayer.
That's the one where you have the dog.
I never played that. That the one with the fish AI?
I don't remember. I never really played that one except for that one day when I was with Charlie.
You can get for like $7 on Amazon.
Probably.
I mean, on Steam for like.
I'm trying to figure out. I played one of them. It was either Ghosts. It was not Advanced Warfare.
It was probably Ghost.
But it was one where
was it on a next gen or
somebody
current gen?
attacks the U.S. and they rod the U.S.
It's like
So rodding is where you take a dense material from
you
orbit,
drop it from space. A tungsten rod,
that
right?
sounds like it would have been Ghost.
and they rotted the West Coast. But anyways, but yeah, like I mean, like not Ghost Recon, Call of Duty. Like it's a franchise I almost like hating because it's so much fun to make fun of it because they really did come from a place where they were great at building stories.
Well,
But then they just sort of like at some point it turned into press F to pay respects.
Well, the thing I don't like about Call of Duty, yeah, the games they're lazy at storytelling now, but they're technically good games.
Technically, yes.
But the audience, I think, is what people are known for making fun of. A bunch of dude bros and fucking 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds. That's when I think of Call of Duty, I think of douche. Like the douche guy that's like, hey man, hey brah, we'll get on Black Ops tonight, brah, huh? Yeah, we'll rinse through and rape a bunch of people.
See if you're talking that shit after.
I mean, I worked with a dude at one of my jobs and like the phrase that he used all the time is like, yeah, I got on last night and I totally raped and it was great. And I'm like, you what? You did what? That is a phrase?
That's a thing you use in conjunction with anything other than actually doing that thing?
Is that a phrase y'all use in that game? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I want nothing to do with this game now.
You're horrible people.
This is stupid. Why? But they do make good games. And I know the developers are probably like, I wish they would stop doing that with our games.
Probably.
But
so what's a developer you hate, Jake?
Honestly, I'm just going to say the same thing. Infinity Ward. Like, after the main people...
Which Infinity Ward? Because they're a different Infinity Ward now.
After the main guys left, I think it was after Modern Warfare 2, like, a good chunk of Infinity Ward left.
They formed Respawn Entertainment. Which made the mediocre game Titanfall.
Oh, they made Titanfall.
Did they make Titanfall?
Respawn Entertainment.
Well...
Good for them.
Yeah.
You know what? Titanfall's not a bad game, but it's not for me.
Well, I think Titanfall would have been amazing if it actually had a game. It's just multiplayer.
It's just a multiplayer
and that's
game.
50% of a game to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, same thing with Rainbow Six Siege. Like, I might play Rainbow Six Siege, but it's going to be...
That's a game I'll give...
60-40. 60 single, 40
multi. I think every game should have multiplayer, but it should be optional. If you can fit multiplayer in there, it should be an option thing. But if you can get the same experience single player, then go for it. But yeah, I want Rainbow Six Siege. I want a campaign I can play by myself, but I will get that game when it's on sale and probably when you get it.
I mean, really, any of the Call of Duty developers, like I think really what you're saying is correct. It's title fatigue. It's the mentality I have about people who play Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for fucking... And it probably had to be like 2 years. Yeah. And that was just my game. That was what I played.
Well, you also got to look at, these developers. They probably want to branch out and do some crazy off-the-wall shit too. They can't because they're under the Activision umbrella. But you got to look at it this way. That's job security for those 3 studios. Most studios, when they release a game, there's rounds of layoffs. And then they got to go find another one. That's just how it is with studios, and it's sad, but I mean, it's like contract work.
Yeah.
But those 3 studios, I don't know. Do they do layoffs? Have they announced layoffs at Sledgehammer and Treyarch and Infinity Ward since the massive purge there? I feel like they're like, shit, I got a good thing going here. I might as well do what Daddy tells me to make. Make it. And it sucks because I'm sure they're very talented, and they just like, what's the next one? We're gonna have rocket jetpacks and Kevin Spacey.
Call of Duty, Kevin Spacey.
Oh, Kevin Spacey's in it. He wouldn't get on anything with a bad story, would he? Yeah. It must have a great story. I don't know anything about the story of Advanced whatever.
I mean, that's the thing.
It's not great.
Kevin Spacey's a bad guy in it.
Move forward, shoot people.
In the last one, I saw a video on YouTube where they claim the game plays it for you, and they kind of proved it. without anything that you have to interact with. But no, when there's like a shootout, they just took cover.
Sometimes, like,
and they moved
AI
when a
will
grenade came.
eventually take everything
And the
out.
AI did kill him. Now it's not like Battlefield Hardline, that shitty EA game that came out last year, where you're a cop. Cops and robbers. Battlefield Hardline, I think is what it was.
That's the one.
Yeah, the AI can't shoot for shit. They shot a guy in the face like 34 times, and he finally fell down. It's like,
We program our AI with ghost bullets.
this is a game. I heard that game was awful, by the way. That was the studio that
in so long.
That was the studio that made Dead Space 1 and 2, I believe.
Dead Space.
And Dante's Inferno.
Where's more Dead Space?
I think they're just gonna reboot that.
You think so?
That had a story. I don't know. I think it ended with him dying.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert for a 3-year-old game. Sorry.
Has it been 3 years? Wow.
Oh, yeah. I'm playing with you, man. Calm down, Steven.
Calm down.
Calm down.
I'm sorry, I got off the
Settle
rails
down.
there. Fuck
Settle
you, Don
down.
Matrick.
Yeah, speaking of developers you hate, what's somebody you like, Steve?
BioWare.
Oh, BioWare's gorgeous.
There's like 3 of them, I think. 2 or 3. I know they have one in Canada and they have one in Austin. Austin, I think it was mostly responsible for the Old Republic, which I have yet to play. But
I think it would be interesting now that we have a PC. You have a PC that works.
Yeah.
Now that I saved Christmas.
I mean, I could. Yeah, you finally saved Christmas.
Yeah.
After you ruined it twice.
Me and Dave finally saved Christmas.
Yeah, that was a lot of early mornings.
Yeah.
I think probably going through the Old Republic because I hear it holds up as a single
From what I
player
hear,
game.
it's better as a single player than an MMO.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, well, that's what I wanted. Was a KOTOR 3, but BioWare after they made KOTOR, they didn't make 2. They went off to do work on their own IPs, and everybody's like, "Oh man, how dare you!" And I'm like, they made Mass Effect, is what they did.
Yeah, they walked off and they did Mass Effect, which was amazing.
So sorry, you made off and made like the best trilogy from like the last generation. Well, for me at least, I thought it was the best trilogy of games. I can't think of another trilogy in games, but besides that, I mean, I liked Uncharted, but I didn't think they stood as a trilogy. I mean, they're all standalone stories.
Doesn't, since there's a 4th coming out.
Well, yeah, they were all standalone stories anyway. They didn't really go into each other that much.
Honestly,
the only connection was characters.
Remember those Yetis we fought in the last game? Nope, I'm gonna jump out of a plane now.
Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory. What I have always considered the definitive Splinter Cell trilogy.
Yeah, that was the previous. That was 2 generations ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I would say that was a
Xbox.
good trilogy.
Yeah, it was original Xbox. Yeah, they knocked
But
it
what
out of
defined that generation was the 3D GTA games.
I should really find a new idiom.
Well, to be fair,
Do I say that a lot?
I say that.
Oh, okay.
I say that a lot. Well, it's because I don't want to be like that guy that's like, fuck these people, negative Nancy, rah. I'm
No,
just
I
like,
hear ya.
I get that these studios, they have hardworking people there, and this is their livelihoods, and they're proud of their art. But I mean, this is the field where people are like, that game sucks. I fucking hate it. Kill yourself. Die. You know.
I don't want to be that guy
I don't
either.
want to be that.
To be fair, if a game just doesn't look good, or
I prefer just to not talk about a game if I didn't
reviewed,
like it.
Like, what's even the use of like wasting your time with it? You know, like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go play it, so why would I even talk about it?
You know what, though? I will be that guy. Fuck John Romero.
Oh, really?
Just fuck him. and
Why?
his-
You didn't like Daikatana?
No, I sure didn't. That was like the worst fucking game ever.
To be fair,
No, there is no to be
he
fair
did
here.
release a Doom level recently that was fantastic.
Well, yeah,
I thought Carmack released that.
I think that was Romero.
Was it Romero?
Well,
think it was,
did they,
yeah.
maybe did they?
I don't
work
think
together?
John Carmack is doing anything but, well,
I think
besides
it's
quitting at
comfort.
Oculus. Yeah,
Oh, did he quit?
I think he retired from Oculus.
You know,
Stepped down. He stepped down from id to do that, and then I think he left Oculus because he's like, I'm filthy richer. Bye.
Oh, John Romero. John Romero is the epitome of.
He just burned through that money. You know the movie Wolf of Wall Street? He reminds me of that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, like he.
Jordan Belfort.
Yeah, he just fucking burned
He
through
kind of
money.
pulled a Peter Molyneux, where he just promised and promised and promised and promised, and then like what he delivered was just.
They were never doing any work. There was like all these rewrites and restarts and just.
We touched on it earlier. This industry is one where your fan base are assholes. Like,
Yeah.
entitled gamers are fucking dicks. Like,
Gamers
fuck
are
those.
terrible people.
And then you get the people like us that are like, if I don't like your game, I'm just not going to like your game. I'm not going to go out on Twitter and tell you to kill yourself and
Unless it's
mom
art.
gets AIDS or something.
Now
But-
we just do it on a podcast.
Unless
No.
it's Ark.
or you're Dave. Yeah, fucking Don Matrick.
Don Matrick, Ark,
And, anyways, and John Romero.
John Romero. There was another one on there, and I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. But,
Someone will remind us.
I'll hear I'm going to make the list at some point that people can go to. It'll just show up in the Twitch stream every once in a while.
Oh.
Just follow this
Fuck
link to
these
go to the fuck
guys.
you list.
yeah.
Number 1, Don Matrick. Number 2, Ark.
Yeah.
Dave,
2-inch thick calluses.
Dave, who's the developer you like?
The developer I like. Well, I would gotta say Konami if I'm just gonna go with a group. Kinda, because
But you'd probably hate fuck them, though.
I would hate fuck them at this point after all they've been up to last year. Because
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like you're more of a Hideo fan.
no, I wouldn't say that because Konami is responsible, or the people that made 3 of my favorite, or at least 2, my 2 favorite game series were Konami. Suikoden's Konami and Metal Gear Solid are Konami.
Well, they also did Castlevania.
Castlevania, that's a good one. Is
Silent Hills,
Yeah.
yeah, Silent
so they
Hill.
have a lot of really good games, but they seem to have lost their way and just I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think they're
over
just
there.
going a new way. Because you can go your own way.
Well, that's true, but
This is almost becoming more of a segment also about that like developers who we loved but have grown to not love anymore.
Well, yeah.
Like-
I mean, I like BioWare, but it sounds like they're having problems.
They're dropping like flies over at BioWare.
Yeah.
I honestly would be surprised if Andromeda was released.
I think Andromeda will be released because EA's just footing the bill, but I think it'll have a lot of outsourcing to all them other developers that EA owns.
It's going to be the last Mass Effect game. I can tell you that right now.
That sucks because I love Mass Effect and I like the idea of Andromeda, but
Honestly,
if it happens, it happens.
Somebody put forward that we don't really know anything about Andromeda. Somebody was like, well, what if Andromeda is a space sim, planet to planet?
Be interesting.
You can actually actively fly your own ship, stuff like that. I can get behind that, but I really don't see Andromeda being successful. Like, not with the way the developers are dropping. That tells me, okay, they don't agree with decisions that are being made in regards to the game. Usually, if a developer doesn't agree with a decision being made in regards to a game. Anyways, we were talking about Konami. I didn't mean to.
oh, I mean that's my complaint. They've just I don't know what they've been doing because it seems like they're trying to. I mean, yeah, you want to be able to go your own way and go a different route, but they seem to be like killing their fan base.
Yeah,
It's like
they don't embrace the thing that makes them great.
I mean
The fans.
Yeah.
And it's people got to buy your games. That's the end of the end of the story.
if you're gonna betray your fans or make it where they feel like they're betrayed.
I think what they did was, I mean, first of all, I think it's that culture. They're Japanese, aren't they? I'm assuming. I don't think they really give a shit about you as a fan. I think they give a shit about money because
That's all game developers.
what makes money? Well, that's all game publishers. I don't know if the developers really don't give a fuck about their fans, but I just think that they saw that, hey, this makes more money than this, and it costs less to make.
Yeah, but
Let's do that instead.
the flip side is you could still do both.
They could do both. I think they just is like, what's cheaper that can make more money,
Well, because they're trying to get into that mobile market and do the.
which is a fucking
I mean,
killer
I
market.
don't blame them, but at the same time, they could use that money, like some of it, and just make very good games. That people
If they
will
made a
buy.
Match 3 Metal Gear Solid game for the phone, I'd probably download it. I don't care.
Yeah.
They've made a Metal
Because
Gear
I'm playing a
Solid
Match
for
4
the phone.
game on the About Futurama right now, and my wife and I are very competitive with it. He's kicking my ass.
You know, there's a developer that I wish was still around, and they're only around now as a licensor.
Sega?
LucasArts.
Oh, yeah, that was
The
sad.
death of LucasArts is one of the saddest things I've
That
ever...
was sad, but at the same time, adult me was like, well, that's what you get for not making games anymore. The last game they made was Force Unleashed 2,
I was
wasn't
gonna
it?
say, did they make Force Unleashed?
I think they made 1 and 2.
I mean, I'm really thinking of LucasArts, like made all the adventure games that I love.
Oh yeah, they were great.
Like Sam and Max.
God, I used to love the Rogue Squadron games.
Rogue Squadron.
Those are Factor 5, I think.
I mean, who
Or Level 5.
Monkey Island.
Oh
Like,
yeah, they did
Monkey Island to me is a game that I have so many fond memories of. Like, I love it when I make a Monkey Island joke and somebody gets it.
Yeah.
Like, like I say El Pollo Diablo all the time, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They're like,
Devil
shut up,
Chicken?
Jake.
Every once in a while, somebody will be like, I hear he is, I forget what the thing is, but they'll respond with like a fact about El Pollo Diablo.
And if you said that around me, I would just like, what about the devil chicken?
The devil chicken?
What?
And there's somebody like, I'm honestly kind of glad that they left, because that sort of let Telltale sort of spring into existence.
They've been doing a good job.
And they are killing it. And because I mean, they did the Sam and Max and Monkey Island games.
Did you see that they announced the Batman game back at E3 last year.
I am so looking forward.
South by Southwest is just ended or just going on now?
I think yesterday was the last day.
They were talking about it there, and I haven't read it yet, but I want to know. I want this game now.
I am pretty excited about.
You know how many people are going to jump on the Telltale bandwagon that aren't already on it? They're going to be like, "Wait a minute, Batman!"
And I mean, like they took Minecraft story mode. They made Minecraft story mode. They made it self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
still haven't played it yet. Is it over?
I think it's still going.
Is it still going? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they got some top-notch talent for that game.
Patton Oswalt in it.
Patton Oswalt and the chick who played Ellie.
Played Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie in The Last of Us. Ashley Johnson.
How?
That's it.
Yeah. She's.
I think.
Yeah, so like LucasArts, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get. Let's see, what are the things that we missed out on?
Well,
1313.
Yeah, we might not be missing out on that though. I think that's who EA owns them. I mean, they're making all the Star Wars game, but the ones that made the Amy, what's her name? The Henning chick that was on that worked on Uncharted and all that. She's working on a third-person Star Wars game that is being made.
Please be 13.
And I think it is 1313 because it's a Boba Fett game.
Yeah, that's the one where you play with Bounty Hunter, right?
Yeah, you're Boba Fett. It's the early days of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Nice. That would be a fun game.
Well, the thing I liked about it is there was a chance it almost was going to be rated M at one point. There were rumors because it was going to be
that was really what everybody was kind of talking about.
The seedy underbelly of Coruscant, and I'm that's the part of Coruscant I give a shit about.
That's what we want.
I'm really tired of Senate chambers and Jedi temples.
I mean, those are fun, but give me something gritty and dark.
I mean, that's.
I just want to remind everybody to fuck Don Matrick.
I think we're
that.
Well, yeah.
If he consents, how about you just flip him off instead?
That's all of our anger. Well, I think that about wraps it up, though.
Yeah, I mean,
unless Dave, you got anything?
Not that I can think of. Well, I will say I love Hideo Kojima, but that just ties into the.
You love Hideo Kojima. I love Chris Roberts.
Chris Roberts.
Of Star Citizen.
Ah, yes.
Been doing that since Wing Commander, so.
I love Mark Hamill.
Who does
He's going to be in Star Citizen.
Yep.
So is Gillian Anderson. So make sure you go over to facebook.com/thebeardyheads. Give us a like over there. If you could subscribe to us on YouTube, we'd really appreciate it. You can follow us on Twitter @beardyheads. Follow me on Twitter @wholeenchilada.
I'm @SBFought.
I decided to bail on Twitter.
You decided to bail on Twitter.
Yeah.
You were going to make a Twitter, and then you're not now?
He instead set up an account on Christian Mingle.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd go over real well over there.
Lexington Steel. Christian Mingle.
Lexington Steel.
Once again, I want to give a shout out to YouTuber Tiny Kaiju. He is trying to get some cash together to go to Japan. He's trying to get some editing software. So if you go to tinyurl.com/tinykaiju, you can donate over there. Also, if you would like to join my XCOM character pool, I can make you an XCOM. I'm going to release a Beardyheads character pack at some point.
You want to die for the greater good?
Die for the resistance, man.
Or
die for the rebellion.
Is it the rebellion?
I think it's more of a resistance in the game. But that's
the resistance in Star Wars now.
My catchphrase is die for the rebellion. And that the rebellion must prevail. And so you can go to tinyurl.com.
All glory to the Hypnotoad.
Beardyhead Rebellion, tinyurl.com/Beardyhead Rebellion. Send me a short description of yourself. There's a Google form there. You can send me a short description of yourself, and I will make you in XCOM, and then we will watch you die.
Alien Menace.
You do it, I may give stuff away. I haven't had anybody volunteer yet. Oh, I have one. I have one volunteer, but I have not seen the response I thought I would have.
Well,
but also it's just because I don't think most. Anyways, I'm Jake.
I'm Steven.
and I'm Dave.
You can eat it and eat it hard.
Closing statement.
Fuck no.
Shout out to Lexington Steel.